Hey folks, what is going on? Hello, ladies, gentlemen, and those who know better. Welcome to the May 2021 Ravager Raid Cycle stream. This is the hit and run raid, which is going to be exactly what this raid is going to look like. It's going to be a lot of hit and run with a lot of damage over time. As I jump into this, I'm first going to go over all the different, just general high-level overview of the targets, which of course I haven't seen these top four unless the 606 is a repeat, which it probably is, and I'll also talk about the prizes briefly. Your main bread and butter set is going to be this middle one here of the 170 and the 172. The 170 should be the auto, and the 172 should be the driving one. We'll have to see how well auto does work. I am worried, to say the least, about the amount of driving that's going to be required, even in the auto target. And then there is also the extended set where you can do the 606 and the 514, and both of these will give you a decent number of points and will help you get a higher bonus out of here. So 1 million for this core set, and if you want more than that, you can get an additional 1.25 million by hitting another 2 targets. Might be worth it depending on time or just breaking things up just a little bit. Alright. In terms of prizes, there are not a whole lot of things that are actually really needed. We do have a new Omega for the outpost, and it looks to me with a salvo of 8, a damage of 5.2 million, this will not do a whole lot to current tier 10 fleets, but it will do much more to tier 9, tier 8 fleets. So the Basilisk, this will supposed to stop the Basilisk pretty effectively. It is going to be better than whatever Omega you have on right now that isn't doing any damage, but it won't do a whole ton, which I'm glad about because I personally think defense is still a little bit too overpowered. We also do have a skin for 9.5 million points if you're into that. Abomination, you can get up to 3, interesting, based off the fact that we could get 2 in Bounty. Now everyone can get 3 regardless, so whatever you think about that. And then what I'm going to be spending most of my points on, we're going to be the Ravager upgrade tokens and the Ravager build tokens, so I can get my 4th ship all finished out here. And then various different upgrade tokens as you go out here, VXP tokens, the Desecrator Scattergun, the weapon for the hole we got last bounty, and then more tokens down here in the Evade store. I wish they would clean up the scroll bar a little bit here. Don't forget about this 2-day structure build token. Right, that's enough talking. We're going to jump into looking at my targets and what it's actually going to be in the raid if it's the same as the VXP targets, which it should be. Very quickly, we have a long-range missile that you want to outrun. Its dumbfire leaves an area of effect field. Countermeasures don't work against. A medium-range missile which outranges you, that MDS-3 works really well against. A scattergun turret, again medium range, you might be able to outrun this. This should be the guaranteed damage in the target. A ship, Reaver Scout, that you can outrange, but it's pretty fast. A missile ship that might have missiles that work better. We'll have to see how well those work compared to your anti-missile accuracy. It's longer range than you, so again, it should end up hurting you and maybe another form of guaranteed damage. The interesting one is the Reaver Hulk or the Reaver Enforcer. This thing is long range and starts out shrouded, which I think is a little bit rude, but you can get rid of this by killing the outpost. That will bring the shroud away, and of course we should see plenty of clouds in these targets. So the main thing, you're going to be doing lots of hit and run with damage over time. Let's get into this and check out some of these targets with my fleet. As I go into the thing I'm using here, I actually only have 4 ships, one of which right here is completely blank. So you're seeing the 3-ship fleet in action. Now, the main ship here, the Ruthless Ravager, rather, this guy is fully built here, but not quite fully upgraded, as you can see. Its U2 has 3 armors, is the multi-shot and the damage build, or multi-shot supercharged build, is split weapons with 2 countermeasures, only upgraded to U2. Ship number 2 here has no armors, but is up to X1. Same build, split weapons, but no missile defense system 3s. I only have 2 of them on the entire fleet. And then the 3rd ship here is U3, is fully built including armors. I lean towards tilt towards corrosive armor, even though it probably won't matter too much. Let's go and see if I made a gigantic mistake with the 3-ship fleet, or if it's going to end up working out whatsoever. I see Ford in chat there saying auto or bust, and the tactical radiation dampener Omega is still better. I think those both could be very, very true statements. We will have to see. I'm in a sector with quite a lot of people around me, so may have a little bit of difficulty finding these targets if they're even in the locator already. I'm not using a crew for this first one here. If I do use a crew, it will probably be something that relates to splash, because steelheads does not help out with corrosive damage. Evade and turn speed might still be nice as well. Okay, we're going to jump into the 170 and see how much trouble we're in here. A little look around before we actually get into the entire target. 5 minutes in, so I'm doing pretty well. Alright, looks like I'm entering on the bottom right regardless of where I spawn in, and it looks to be the same artwork, same style as this last raid target. We're starting out way up close here. If I can actually zoom in, 1 or 2 ships quite near you, you might be able to outrun those, and a few different medium-range turrets near you. More ships, more medium-range turrets over here, up on the top, more medium-range turrets. It looks like, and we do have 1 Hulk, I'll bet you this building right here controls the shroud on this 1 Hulk, or this one right here. One of these 2 buildings has got to do that. And a second Hulk back here. Interesting point is that there are none of these missile targets in here, none of the long-range missiles, whatever you want to actually call those things. So that should end up working out there. As I get started, nothing is moving right off the bat, so let's spin around, and the flagship is amazing in terms of the turn speed. Let's see if I can outrange these things. Looks like I can, and looks like I can outrun most of their damage. Fire off 6 or 7 volleys at this guy, and it ends up dying. Damage over time, it's how my fleet works. That isn't coming into effect for quite a while, so I'm shooting at it, and it keeps hitting me, and looks like I didn't take a whole ton of damage there, just about scratched the paint in the bottom right. I have no idea how you can actually see that on YouTube. But I was able to outrun those short-range ships, and they were not doing too much damage to me, at least not incredibly much. Another few turrets here shooting at me, and I'll fire off 4 or 5 shots at these guys, and I'll run away, see if I can end up killing them. The tricky part of this raid is going to be trying to figure out how many shots you actually need to kill every single turret. Cure, did I spell your name wrong? Well, that's not the point. Well, there we go. The missiles from these guys are tracking. They track you. My antis are not 100% effective against those. And then the medium-range corrosive turrets, these guys are dumbfire. So just pay attention to this missile turret right here. See, I'm going to shoot at every single projectile. Let's fire off 6 or 7 shots at it and run away. It should end up dying while I'm on the other side of the map, which I guess is pretty good. Against these ships, we'll try and do a little bit of outranging kiting things, see if that's at all possible. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I fired 7 times at that guy. I probably had way more damage than it had help, but it ended up being that, it died from those earlier shots. So things are dying fairly quickly. There is, I would think, too much driving still around here, but that's just my one opinion. Okay, several shots off on that Phoenix, and it continues to drive around in circles. Several shots off on this missile turret, and it will slowly die. Hey, not that bad. Things are actually responding fairly quickly when you shoot at them. It's not taking the entire 8 seconds for something to die. It happens faster rather than later. But I still have to work out how many shots you actually need to kill everything here, because you don't want to leave a turret with just a sliver of health. You would rather kill the entire thing. Looks like with my particular fleet, my exact upgrade, multi-shot, supercharged build, it's looking at about 6. Okay, here's the Hulk. It is not shrouded. I don't know if that's because I killed something or because it just wasn't shrouded. Several shots off of this guy and get out of range, and the DOT kicks in and kills the rest of the thing. Hey, this raid target is not nearly as bad as I feared it would be based off, my initial impressions, my initial assessments. So I'm going to say that's a good thing. I mean, things are dying fairly quickly. It's happening fairly quickly. It's a pretty short target. I've been in here 3 or so minutes, and it's not horrible. Several shots off on this guy, leaving it when it's about at 3/4 health. And looks like, I do enough to punch it in. I did, but this turret is still alive, ticking down there, and it's dead. Fantastic. Yes, the Reaver Scouts I was hitting I called it a corrosive weapon. They're dumbfire. The Phoenix, I believe, is not dumbfire and is tracking. Okay, results here of this first battle is that more damage. Let's zoom in here so you all people can see a little more easily. The result of this damage is that most of what I'm taking is corrosive, and that's with the fact of using corrosive armor and tilting towards more corrosive survival. It may even be best to have gone for 100% all 4 corrosive slots. We'll have to see. Repair time 15 minutes and 32 seconds. Hey, that's not bad. 15 minutes off the target. If you use a full fleet of 5, that probably ends up being closer to 20. But I'll take that any day of the week. Not quite instant repair. Looks like more damage is on the flagship, which is not surprising. That happens often during raids. I would actually bet that's mostly missile damage. I'm going to go ahead and coin that repair because I can, and go out and hit the next 172 rather than waiting while wait 5 minutes for the flagship to repair partway or anything like that. Initial impressions on the 170 target are quite positive, which surprised me because I was expecting them to be quite negative. It was a quick target, I could do it fairly easily, and the DOT seemed to be working and it seemed to be hurting these things, and at least off that one target driving it was fun. Not quite sure how we'll feel if we do a few of those on a quite long time. You know, if I have to hit 100 different targets. I will come back and auto a 170 after this. Jumping into the 172, it does look like this is a much bigger target, so more driving going around in circles. Similar things, Hulk similar to last time, some of the short-range corrosive or medium-range corrosive turrets, the scouts here, which will pay attention more to seeing what they miss. And this one does have an invisible brimstone turret. That seems exciting, Kixeye. If you have an invisible brimstone, I would love that to be fixed. Unless that's some other weird icon. More just standard turrets for this target. Several Hulks up at the top 2 and several turrets up at the top 2. All spread apart quite far. If you went with a splash build, I'm not even sure if splashing one of these things would splash onto the others. So that is interesting. Yep, you do have an invisible turret, Kixeye, right here. Looks like a lot of clouds in this target, so clouds in the skill target. That should be interesting. See what we can actually kill and do damage to without actually getting spotted and getting hurt. I'll bet you I can get this one close turret right here. Oh, come on. No. No, you couldn't see me. I was inside the cloud. That's cheating. You couldn't see me. Okay, the fog cutter's shooting at me there. I'm trying to kite people. I don't want them in the clouds when they're chasing me. I don't want the Reaver Hulks anyway. Should I just loop around the left side of the target until I actually get around to the Reaver outpost so I can kill the Hulks? I don't even know which one of these things is the outpost. Looks like it's that one right there. So it's that center Reaver looking one, if that makes sense. Haven't really taken too much damage, but I've just haven't really engaged things too much either. Okay, let's see if these ships can see me through the cloud. They can't. Hey, that's fantastic. So that's what you want to do right there. I am in range of a fog cutter, but we will not worry about that. Yeah, a lot of fog cutters. You probably have to try and kill those first somehow. They shouldn't let other turrets see you. It's just them that can see you. And if you see the red thing flash up, you gotta start moving. Once these are dead, that'll be a lot easier to get the rest of the target down. Okay, there is an invisible turret right here. You can tell because I'm shooting at it. Okay, target's not so bad. I'm doing a lot of laps around here. I would love to try and engage these Hulks someplace where I could just have them all on their own. 6 or 7 shots off at that turret. It's still alive, but dying quickly. Let's see if we can splash these guys out. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 shots off at the Hulk should do it, don't you think? There they go. It's kind of satisfying to see them die when I'm far away. I'm enjoying that. Yeah, the scattergun depth charge from the scouts is dumbfire, is not tracking me. That matches up with my predictions and what I thought would be happening. Alright, more damage in this target, I will say that. I got 4 shots off on this close turret. It looks like that should be enough to kill it. I can use the cloud here to shoot at the Phoenix. Fantastic. Short range inside the... well, more things shooting at me, so I do have to keep moving. You really do not want to stay stopped in this target. Do not stop in the 172. Just keep going around in circles is what I'm seeing. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm sort of having to count my salvos. I am liking the low reload time of all this stuff. Get in the cloud next to you, and then we can both see each other. How about that? 4 minutes so far on this target. That is a longer thing than I would love. I would enjoy more if it was a shorter target. So that is a negative right here. But I will get the path down, and you can see it is a little bit annoying to have several buildings up at the top here that are sort of half dead. This is the part of DOT I don't like. You don't know when something's going to die or not. That would just take practice and getting used to. But overall, it's not nearly as bad as I thought it would be. And you can just stay shooting at something until it dies. You don't actually have to move away from it. I also do have 1 ship up at X1 through 6 tokens, which I saved up through Pillage and through the TLC. TLC had 5. Pillage only had about 1 or just 1. So that's why I have 1 ship at X1. So if you see this aura, that's what it does. And it debuffs these turrets and reduces their damage by about 15%. All right, 172, not that bad. Seemed to work fairly well. Arkenwolf, I do need to check closer on the Phoenix's missiles if they're dumbfire or not. 172 results in terms of the total repair or damage breakdown battle report. Looks like more of this was again corrosive, and that's still with a corrosive tilt. A lot of this stuff, missile evaded, is through things that are shot down, or I would not be surprised if the long-range brimstone missiles that missed counted under this evaded category also because they were launched but didn't hit your ships. So just be aware of that. Also, the UAVs probably factor in somewhere there. All right, 22 minutes, 53 seconds. That is not a bad repair time either. I mean, if you get 5 ships all fully equally built and distributed, same repair time, same armor, same survival, it should be low repair for that one too. The problem with this 3-ship fleet I am running with is that I am having... it's the repair time. If I want to get instant and use 5 minutes per ship, it's not quite as good, won't be quite as easy. So I'll probably have to do a little bit of repairing and then waiting. Let's go ahead and jump into a 514 unless I see another 170 around here. It also does look like these 514s are missing the bright half of the target. So we'll have to see if that is the case when we actually get in there, because it looks a little bit wonky to me at least. 172 is a decent target. Damage does seem slightly higher than the 170. It does seem like a longer target to do. I'm not the happiest about it, but I would give it a passing grade. I wouldn't give it an exemplary outstanding grade. It would be a passing grade. Switching gears to the 514, this does look a bit different than the other two, and this is probably a co-op target as well. Looks like Tactical Error is watching me. I've heard that name before. Another few buildings in here. These ones are brand new. These are different. This blue thing looks like a nav relay aura. No idea what that does. I'll have to see if there's downbursts around my ships. And then everything else is pretty standard. We'll go over to these Phoenixes first when we get started. More scouts, more turrets. Seems like it's an interesting target because we can approach it from multiple angles this time, rather than just approaching it from, say... and lots of clouds too, of course. Rather than just approaching it from one angle built into the land, it is now you have more choice of where to go. Let's see if I can't hide in this cloud here and get some damage off on this Phoenix. There we go. So you could just hit that one ship, retreat, find a different target, and do the entire raid like that. Okay, those weapons from the Phoenix are tracking me. At least that's what I understand. I shouldn't have engaged in that second time. I should have just hid in the cloud. Okay, a few turrets to shoot at. Get some damage off onto those and get out of dodge. Have to keep moving because the Are you serious? That's why I don't like this turret is left half alive here. This guy right here, I tried to shoot at it a few times, and I was one salvo under. Should have had one more. A lot of waiting for this guy. You know, if you wait 4 seconds, everything you shoot at, you're going to have a bit longer of a time. I'll bet you I'm not taking any damage from these scouts. If I wanted to, I could probably do the trick where you're hiding in the cloud and you pull one ship out of here. Yeah, come get me. Come get me. I'll use my flagship just as a decoy and pull everything. A flagship as a decoy, pull everything past me. That will probably work. We did this a long time ago with the Rock Ring Saturn and the Arch Nemesis. If I just park right here, how's this going to work? It's not a big deal for this ship because you outrange it anyway, but it's possible and you can work with that one. I don't want to go too near this Hulk. I don't want to engage it because otherwise there's going to be way too much damage from there. So we're going to start looping back towards this right side and seeing if I can't get off any damage on these things and kill whatever the building that unshrouds the Hulks is, which I'm guessing is one of these two. Not clear on that one yet. I'll try and zoom in again here. Interesting. So, am I doing splash damage off onto this guy? I think so. Looks like a safe spot right here. I wish there was a key you could press. Press the H key or whatever, or W key. Not any of those, but that would illuminate all the firing arcs that are still alive in the target so you can see what these brimstones are going to do to you. You can hover over all of them, but I wish it was a little bit easier to see some of that stuff. Okay, Hulk is active and triggered, which is probably a bad thing. You need nice fast ships for this target to get out of damage. All this corrosive damage, you want to try and avoid that as much as possible. And these Hulks are just going to keep tracking you down because they can see through the fog, so you can't exactly hide from them. Okay, a few scouts off on the left here I wasn't aware of. We're at 4 minutes through this target. It's only half dead. It does seem like a little bit of a negative to me on that aspect. It might just be worth sticking to the 170 and 172 rather than doing this guy, but it doesn't look like it's a bad target. It's not horrible. There's nothing insane about it. Triggered another Hulk, which is probably not the smartest move in the world, and several UAVs. Looks like my countermeasures are quite good against those UAVs. I'm kind of surprised. There is a scattergun on these guys too, which you just saw, which you can probably outrun, but no reason to get close to this if you don't have to. Let's dance around here a few times. And hard cut in, see if this building will unshroud the Hulk. It has a lot of help, so that's a good sign. Means it probably does unshroud. Nope. Do I have to kill both of these, or just the large one? Looks like I have to kill both of them. Interesting. You need a real fast ship. I almost think remote graders or even that submarine crew that speeds you up by 10% would help out silent hunters. I think that would help out a lot. Avoid a lot of this damage. Although I haven't really taken too much damage. It's mostly just been running around the target at full speed. Interesting. A lot of driving so far. That's for sure. Again, stay moving if you're engaging these Hulks to reduce splash damage. Okay, this guy's in a cloud. See if I can't kill this last brimstone turret that's spotting me because it's quite annoying. I want someplace safe to hide from everything else in this target. We are at 6 minutes for the target right here. Only have to hit about 100 of these, so that's 600 minutes, 10 hours of driving. Does that math check out? Kind of joking there, but... Okay, you need to get out of that cloud. Six salvos off on that Hulk. Taking down. I wish we had a more visual representation of how many stacks were built up, because I can't tell. Okay, I was a few salvos short. One more should probably do it. See, I'm shooting at this thing 4 times, easily no effort. It would be hard to just shoot at something 1 time. So if you're stacking max stacks in under 4 volleys, you might be having a bit of a mistake in that case. Well, looks like this is the last turret for the target, so we're being done with the 514. Not bad. Not horrible results. I should have a little coin counter up on the side of the screen, how many coins I've actually spent. We're at 2 coins. Damage taken more corrosive, which I'm not surprised by. And then missile is some amount too. Most of that, again, is evaded. 18 minutes, 43 seconds repair. I mean... I've just done 3 targets in a row for, 18 minutes to repair. I don't have a lot of complaints about the damage from these targets. My main thought with the 514 I just did is that it's a fairly solid target. It just takes too long. It took me 6 minutes to go through that, and it was the first hit. Maybe you can get that down. But there's a lot of hit and run. There's a lot of waiting. There's a lot of clouds and a lot of weaving back and forth. For me, that's just too much. Maybe it's just my playstyle or someone else likes it a little bit better. You know, I don't think we need that comment. Okay, let's jump into the 170 on auto and see if I can find one of those. See how poorly this fleet does do on auto. Here's a 170, right next to someone named the Farmer of BP. Cure, I actually think this is not quite as bad as the photon targets because I can actually see them and I can tell what's going on. Like, the photon targets had pop-up stuff. We don't have any pop-up stuff, so it's a lot less of an issue, at least personally for me with that. So this is the 170 on auto. I'm going to say 5 minutes to finish, 1 hour damage. That's just my blind prediction. I also do have another new target to show you. I think that's the 504, whatever the Reclaimer target is. Look at that vomit of projectiles. There's so much just going to waste there. Yep, if you're caught up, you don't need a whole ton of points in the raid. I am going for about 68 million or so, just because I want 10 days of Ravager upgrade tokens and 10 days of Ravager build tokens. And that's really just the rough thing for me. I did calculate exactly how many points I wanted. Because again, I only have 3 ships. I'm going to get 4 by probably the end of the day. And I'm going to need, more than that later on. The Omega Executioner seems nice. Doesn't matter to me if I get that in day 1 or day 6 of the raid. It probably has a horrendous build time too or something like that. Okay, auto is not going too badly. Again, here comes the Hulk, and it does have an aura around that. It really has not affected me whatsoever. I think it does affect, say, the Zealot X1 drones more. Is the intention of that is what 2 people more familiar with these targets told me. I need 65.8 million for this raid. Okay, auto's not doing poorly. I'm not really taking, well, I said that and just look at the damage on my ship. When I jump onto the damage actually on the bottom right, there's a whole lot more damage. I said 1 hour, 5 minutes to complete. We're about 2 minutes through, over halfway done, so might only take 4 minutes. But our damage, I don't know. I guess the thing I should point out here is my fleet totally dead, only has 3 ships, so it's only going to take 6 hours to repair rather than an entire fleet, which might take, say, 10 hours to repair. So maybe the total damage metric on every ship isn't the best indicator, just because of how I'm a bit surprised by some of this stuff. But 3-ship fleet is actually working out fairly well. The Hulk is right on top of me. That's not a smart move. If this can auto it for under an hour repair, I'll probably just do that for all the rest of the 170 targets I have to hit after I, get the more detailed, straightforward path video. Yeah, Kira, I was guessing about 6 hours from dead. And last target here. Yeah, Dynamite, I'm not sure why there weren't any VXP tokens for the Ravager flagship. There were in Pillage, but I didn't see any in this prize pool, this prize list. I've got mine ranked up, so yeah, not bad. Arkan Wolf is a 1.5 hours per ship dead. That sounds right, 3 hours normally. Well, way more damage from Corrosive. It's not even close. And 35 minutes, 41 seconds. That's close enough for me to go to base and put 1 coin on here. I mean, it works. The 170 target can be autoed. It's possible to do. So, I'm not complaining based off the auto ability of the build that I have in this target. Is the Absolver Scattergun build, which of course I don't have, I'm not doing 2 fleets of this stuff, is that going to do it any better? Maybe. I almost want to say probably, based off how much the math says it should do entirely better. I would be really interested if anyone, I'm sure we'll see people throughout the next few days in this raid, who've built the Absolver build, and they probably outperform me on auto is my guess. But I didn't do poorly on auto here. Like, this thing worked, I was able to complete the target, reasonable amount of damage in a reasonable amount of time. I guess, should we try the 172 on auto? That seems like a next project. We do have one more new target to check out, though, and that is the, if I can come up with a number here, it's the next one to complete the set, which you'll see on the list here. The 606 is the Reclaimer target. If this target's worth it, I'll probably hit this and the 514 a whole lot. If not, I'll just hit as many 172s as I can and stack up 170s on auto before logging off for 6 hours. I've seen that WWDD thing a few times out there. Okay. 606. Not a new target. Or is it? I think this is new. I think I've not seen this target before. Well, Reclaimers are an entirely different beast. Again, I'm not really going to auto this thing a whole lot. You might even have some success with, say, a Gladius fleet in here. And geez, there was a lot of lag for a moment. Well, let's just get close up to these guys, shoot them from behind. And everything dies in just about 1 shot with this target. Stay moving. Okay, why am I at 1 frame per second? That's not cool. Radio tower. Cannibalistic target. Okay. I don't want him to be shooting at me. I want him to be shooting at the far side. I gotta keep that thing alive too, so it hits the center of the target. And unfortunately, you have to deal with my X1 fleet of Reclaimers. There's nothing I can do about that. I can't scrap the fleet and rebuild it at E0. So, E0 Reclaimer fleet, I actually do have one of those in storage. But it's not going to be able to complete the target quite as well. You know, it might not keep these turrets on the far outside alive long enough to take down all these damage buildings here. It might. It probably won't, based off how much damage this thing's taking. Okay, can I damage you? Let's loop around the outside here. I'm getting shockwave on. That's not good. That's not good at all. Okay, I don't want to go on the inside of the target quite yet, just yet, because there's still these turrets that I have yet to take down the support buildings for. But I am gated off a little bit. 606 looks like almost... I think these siege targets look more fun than the other target, to be honest. I don't want to engage this guy yet till I hit the launcher. Can I loop around here at all? Can I get above this guy? Probably not, but we'll see. Interesting. Okay, I took damage going across there, so that's not the best. And I'm gonna have to engage one of these clusters with the fancy damage building still up here. Yeah, I think we need to jump back to my Ravager fleet again after this. Do another few sets, see if I can't get the damage down. Load on a crew. All right. What have we got going here? Stay moving. Not the best target in terms of easy straightforwardness to complete, because I would rather kill this Farsight engage the Farsight before I kill the structure. But I did it. It worked. And one more invisible building. This happens a lot to me. 606 seems decent. Repair time is probably about half an hour for this one, which is not bad whatsoever. So it will work. I'll be able to complete this target, and I don't think it will be a better points to damage ratio or damage to points ratio, time to points ratio as well as important, at least for me, than the 172/the 170, and you can't really auto any of this stuff. So I'm going to do what Krakendoc said, Lazy Pirate Mode engaged. That was instant repair, slightly less than 250k. I would love this to be fixed. I would rather have 50 points above rather than 450 below. That's probably instant repair and base, so hey, not bad. Based off the fact it needs to be driven, I'm probably not going to be hitting it a whole lot, but if you do want to drive it and you do have an X1 Reclaimer fleet, looks like you can drive this thing for instant map repair, no crew, fairly easily. That is, of course, an all X1 fleet, so if you have a U3 Ravager fleet, a U2 one, you're going to take more damage, so the target is probably tuned so that people who paid through investing time and or money into the top target don't have to pay for as much time or as much money in the actual repair time. Alright, we're going to jump back to the Ravager fleet here. I've still got plenty of time to screw around with these guys. I've got quite a few legendary crews I can show off here. I just don't use them. I have a DOS crew. Look at all these demo squads. 3 Grease Monkeys. I rolled one yesterday trying to get just a normal damage crew. Several 2-star Salties. Some of these Junkyard Dogs. Useless Death from Above crews that aren't even good. Molotov Maidens that just last longer. The problem with using, say, Steelhead's crew, which I could do very well, is that these Steelheads, they don't give you corrosive defense, so it's going to be a bit sad. Most of my damage is from corrosive. This doesn't help with corrosive defense. The things that might help, I guess I could use a Bullseye-Brigade, but I'm not wasting one on here, is more building damage is not going to help either, because this corrosive stuff isn't impacted by building damage, and also the Sea Serpents. This is probably the best one you want to go for. Evade will help only against missiles, but the turn speed's going to be nice. Silent Hunters, or even if you have some, Remote Raiders might be helpful here. And the one thing I wish I could show you, but I can't, is the X1 weapon on the flag, because I don't quite know how that works yet. We've been told a few things, but I'm not sure if I believe them. It's a hidden mechanic. Let's try and get one for instant base repair if we can. Probably focus on the 172 for right now. Because, like I said, that's the main one I'll hit. Everything else, probably just auto. Hey, I think we should also check the leaderboard, see how many points everyone's up to. I'm number 80 with 2.5. Someone's already at 92 million points, so hey. Yeah, in the sector, I'm number 16. So, 80 points compared to people at 41 million. I gotta keep grinding here to even have a chance. But people will blitz a lot of stuff is what I'm figuring out here. Alright, 172. Take 2 on this one. I wonder if I should try autoing this first or just no. I'm not even going to attempt that. This would be stupid auto. Okay, how can I get the least possible damage? I really don't like the fact that this little guy right here is inside the cloud, which means I can't use it. Seems a bit mean to me. Let's try this top cloud. See if I can get any fun results here. Something will probably shoot at me. Yeah, there we go. What if I get right close as I possibly can to the center right here? That looks pretty good. Nice. Let's see. Anything else in this cloud I can grab? Maybe one of these scouts, but I doubt that. Uh-oh. Okay, let's go back to this hiding spot and do the flag trick. See if I can pull them. That's probably not a good idea. Because if I take the flag and I pull this guy over the cloud, he'll spot the rest and shoot at them. So I'm just going to group up. Probably engage the missile ship first. I think that's where the majority of the damage would come from. And that should be enough to get this dead, don't you think? No. He's stubborn. He's staying alive. Look how little damage I do on that initial first shot. I won't even kill it. It will kill it a few ticks later, but that's too late. Okay, someone in range of there. That's not useful. Looks like these UAVs are worse than they were in the VXP targets. Okay, a little bit overwhelmed here. That's not great. A few scattergun shots from this guy. I would prefer to avoid that. Flag has taken a lot of damage. I can't tell if that's because it's the flagship or because it's not at U3/X1. And by the way, one of these ships I'm running doesn't even have any armor on it. I tried to outrange that. I could not outrange it. Wonder how the photon ECMs would do in this guy. I wouldn't imagine very well, but it seems like they outrange a few things. They're probably just too darn slow. Okay, where's the thing to turn off this Hulk? Because these guys are quite annoying going off in a circle around me. I would prefer that they would just not do that. Invisible turret is still there, if anyone was wondering. Kixeye has not fixed the invisible turret. Wonder if I submit a support ticket if they would give me gold for an invisible turret. I doubt it. Okay, it has a little blue icon above there. That's great. I can tell I need to kill the blue icon to unshroud the things. I wish that was there earlier, but it's not. Okay, now you're unshrouded. Now let's see if I can't take you down. Ooh, almost in range there. Okay, keep moving. I think I got slowed with that Hulk. I wasn't noticing it before, but I am now. I kind of want to try the Zealots in this guy. See how well those work. With the remote Raiders crew. When else am I going to use them? I shot at you 5 times, did I not? My projectile speed is plenty high enough to hit these guys. I'm not worried about my spread and my splash. A Molotov Maiden's crew might help. That may be the next best thing to try. Is that going to be enough to kill it? Probably not. I think that was 4 shots. What you should do with your fleet is see how many shots you need to do to kill something, just barely, again with the invisible turret. So you can figure out exactly how many times do I need to shoot at the ships, the Hulks, whatnot, so you can kill them and get out of the way, hit and run, in as little damage and take as little damage in that same path possible. I thought this raid was going to be a whole lot worse than it's been, so yeah, that's pretty good. last turret here, unless we still have invisible guy. I should probably have hit this one from the cloud. That's easily enough to kill it right there. And there we go. Target's ending. Way more damage on the flag that time. I've got no idea what happened. What did I get last time? It was 1 coin. I figured... That was it 28 minutes or what? Well, that's 35. I feel like the damage was increased. I don't know if anyone wants to wind back and tell me what damage I got, but 35 minutes seems higher for not really doing a lot different. I bet you the approach you need to do is take out these hulks a little bit earlier. Well, let's see. Wasn't a bad repair. I don't know if I'll probably just stick out slow repair in this one and wrap most of this stuff up here. You know, seems like the build I've got going is working quite well. This is not, it's working very well regardless of what build Kixeye tried to sell you. The one I've got working is not a bad one. I'll go ahead and zoom in here. And it's just got multi-shot and damage, or multi-shot and supercharge, rather than just pure damage. I'm literally doing 5,000 pure damage, and everything else is still happening. I still like the split weapons. It seems like those are working great for me. My potential max damage is higher, and I didn't notice anything poor about those. No idea if Kixeye changed something sneaky behind the scenes, but I'll be sticking with this guy. I'll play around with a few other things, including a multi-maintenance crew, see if that helps at all. Test a few things out in auto and see what damage results I'm getting. I like the 3 corrosive armor. I might even go with 4 corrosive armor if you're an auto player. I'm really interested in an Absolver build, though, and seeing how well that would get going. You know, that was a really interesting one for me that I wanted to run. I have no complaints about this. If you're using corrosive battery too, please stop. You're doing it wrong. If you're using Kixeye's build, which I can probably pull up here, unless they still have only the gold cell going on, their Ravager cell probably ended. No, here we are. You know, I think this is one of the worst possible builds you can come up with, because it's quite deceiving, and I think this is a horrible build on several different characteristics. But hey, that's just me. So with that, I think I'm going to say thanks, folks, for turning on watching. I won't go ahead and keep you on any longer. Went about 45 minutes here out of my hour stream that I generally do, which, hey, that's fine with me. If you see your name up on the end of the screen here, thank you so much. You're really helping support Battle Pirates and support the channel. Someone asked what keeps me playing this game, and the truth is, it's all you folks. And supporting, being nice, giving comments, sending messages, saying, hey, thanks for doing this stuff. So I'm saying it back to you. Thanks, folks, so much for watching. I'll stick around here in live chat for a few minutes if there's any questions. Other than that, this has been Derpy, signing out, helping you be a better pirate.